Huddersfield. Leeds Rhinos have defended their crown.
And what a moment for Halifax Rugby League.
Austin is through and Warrington dominating. Great try for the Robins. Huddersfield Giants take the points home. Henderson is a poor lad. That is one sensational try.
Look out with a drop goal. Leeds gather round in jubilation.
He's hit the post. It's Wellesby. Wellesby might have got the try. St Helens are champions once again.
Hello and welcome to the last tackle. Yes, we're at the playoff stages in the Betfred Super League, the Championship, League One and the Women's Game. With me for the next half hour, we've got Andrew Henderson, the assistant coach at Wolves, and we've got the England head coach, Shaun, Wane. Thanks for joining us, gents. And if I can start with you, whew, first half or second half, what do you want to talk about against Castleford?
Let's just talk about the fact that we won the game. So yeah, that's the most important thing. So yeah, look, it was an incredible game, really. To say that we were in such a commanding lead at 32 points to 0, and then to have that sort of crazy sort of 20-25 minute spell where we had a player sin bin, a player sent off. Cass got a huge amount of momentum, and credit to Castleford, they really capitalised on that momentum. They took the opportunities in the field position, and they were clinical at that period. And we had to find a way to get out of that negative cycle and get ourselves back onto script, I suppose, back onto task. And I think there was a penalty. I think Liam Watts head eye tackle.
I think that was the difference, wasn't it? You just took the sting out of Cass.
Correct. I think you're right, Mark. It just allowed us to reset, refocus, took the sting out. We got then obviously a little bit of ball and possession back, and then I thought the way we closed the game out was really good. I thought we turned the ball over on our terms. We got ourselves back onto task, and like I said, ultimately, I think we were rewarded with getting a few repeat sets at the back end of the game, which then got us the late try to seal the victory. But certainly some nervy moments in that game, there's no doubt about it. But like I said, that's the beauty of Super League, isn't it? Teams, they're never dead and buried, and if you keep competing hard, you've always got a chance. And like I said, momentum, as Shaun will tell you, it's a tough old thing to break when it's going against you. So we done well in the end to manage that through.
We'll talk about your game against Hull KR a lot during this show. But
sure.
Shaun, great to see you.
Good to see you, Mark.
I suppose after a year we've had, it's great to get to the playoffs, isn't it? In the Super League and the Championship, League One and the Women's Game.
Yeah,
I've been times this season I've been worried.
Yeah, I understand it's been tough for everybody. It's been the worst period we've all had. But I think congratulations to the RFL and Super League getting these games on in some form, and I think credit to the players and the coaching staff for getting some of the performances I've seen this year has been outstanding. I've been really impressed. So it is what it is, what's happening, and I think we've made the best of it.
Can you remember what date you got the England job?
No idea.
3rd of February 2020.
Yeah.
Does it feel about 5 years?
Longer than that. Yeah, it's been painful. It's been tough because I like to work and coach, and I've not done that. We had the All Stars game, and when I took the job, we had the Ashes potentially, then the World Cup, and none of that's happened, sadly. But like I said before, I'm the eternal optimist, Mark, and it is what it is. And there's people in this world what's had a tough time, and when you think about it, what we're going through is nothing compared to what some people are going through.
Your reaction to the World Cup being, well, at least it's just been postponed for a year.
Yeah, and that's my mindset is preparation. I'm seeing players this week and next week, and making sure we're ready for this game against France, what we're going to play in October, and that's the only thing I'm in control of. I'm not one for looking back. I'm not one for feeling sorry for myself, and the fact that I'm not coached that much. It's just the way it is, and we have to make the best of it.
So you're not moaning, groaning, you want to crack on?
I crack on 100%.
What about France then on the 23rd of October? Obviously French rugby is flying.
Flying. You know what Toulouse has done, and some of the players they've got there, credit to them, some of the wins they've had have been phenomenal. And I love the way Catalan's playing. Sam Tompkins is killing it for Catalan, as is many players. And I'm so happy. I spend a lot of time over there, and the fans are fanatical, and this game is going to be a real tough test match.
When will you announce the squad?
I'm looking round about 2 weeks before the game. I understand they've got playoffs and things will change. And I always said when I lead up to the All Stars game, I'm not really into fixed squads. I want it to be fluid, move, you know, and I want to leave people out and bring people in on form, and I'd love to be able to do that. So I'm not that obsessed about naming squads, and you know, I just want to name the best team a couple of weeks before the game.
But this is a proper test again, isn't it?
Oh yeah, big test. It's going to be, you know, going to be a lot of fans there. They're all fanatical in Perpignan, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a real test for us.
And unfortunately, you're going to have some players not involved in the playoffs or what have had a lot of rugby by the 23rd of October.
Yeah, and I've got really good staff. You know, Chris Barron, who's at Warrington with Endo, and he's the best. We've organised some fortnight sessions for people who I spoke to many players what's not in these playoffs, and they need to make sure they look after themselves. And we're going to train on 5th of October. And right through to the French game, and then carry on after that. So the players understand what they need to do, and I'll have a fit squad for the game against France.
What I love about Rugby League, Hendo, is that we're going to have a women's international as well on the same day. We're going to have a wheelchair international, and the Knights are going to have a game as well, aren't they?
That's great. Fantastic. And again, that's what we're trying to do, and we want to grow the game. We need more international rugby league, and the fact that we've now got it at other levels of the game, like I said, the women's game, the wheelchair, which is really has taken off. We saw with the Super League Grand Final, the wheelchair on the weekend, which we'll probably go into later. Yeah. It's fantastic to see that the opportunities that we're showcasing, but now at international level is first class. So I think it's great, and it just creates that that more sort of festival feel, that carnival sort of atmosphere as well. You know what I mean? The fact that you've got all these games on as well, it's fantastic. Brings it to life.
I mean, Shaun, obviously you're the England head coach, and that is the priority. But does it make you proud that we're going to have a wheelchair game alongside? We're going to have a women's game. Does it make you proud it is such an inclusive sport? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm very patriotic. I love my country, and no matter what sport it is. But to see that we're doing things really well, having the women's game on in France as well at the same time, and over this period we've done lots of Zooms with all the coaching staff from the wheelchair team and the women's team, and we're a close group, and I think we do it better than many other sports.
Well, you mentioned the wheelchair game. They had their grand final this weekend. It was live on Sky, and there's a few other trophies given out this weekend.
Oh, and a little dummy from the play the ball. This could work. Bye-bye's got Corella on his shoulder. How about that from Toulouse? The dummy at the play the ball. Bye-bye to Corella. And a bit of magic. Handshakes for Jonathan Ford. Congratulations to Toulouse in this breakthrough year for French Rugby League. Toulouse Olympique are the league Leaders' Shield winners.
Quick play of the ball, Clibbins will score! Clibbins is over the line, and has he got a third successive try? The officials are talking about it. Clibbins thinks he's got it down, and he has. James Simpson goes forward to his side. It's been a historic season for them. The Leeds Rhinos complete the treble. They are the Betfred Wheelchair Super League Grand Final winners.
Looking lively as it comes left to Stott on Woozy. Good ball, lovely hands there. Here's Hardcastle, support on the inside. She doesn't need it. She's brushed away from Sturziker and will sail to the try line. Try number 21 of the season. That trophy that they've all been playing for. The League Leaders Shield. Cunningham takes it. Now she'll go across to her own teammates. And the celebrations can begin.
Right, let's just talk about the three trophies we've just seen there being handed out. First of all, congratulations to Toulouse for winning the regular season. And Hendo, they've won the regular season without playing the home game.
Yeah, it's been. I know there's a lot of controversy around it. There's a few people aren't happy with the fact that Toulouse have been awarded this trophy because of the fact of the situation. But the reality is they've played what they've been told to play. It's not been their fault that obviously other teams in that competition are part-time, have not been able to travel over to France to play their games, etc. So at the end of the day, they've only been able to control what they can control. And what they have done is they've won their games. and everybody knew at the start of the season it was going to be based on win percentage, and ultimately they've come top of the tree on the win percentage. I look at it more, probably a little bit similar to Shaun, a little bit more in an optimistic view, and so actually it's not bad for the game, it's not bad for the sport that we're actually seeing successful periods for French Rugby League, especially with a World Cup proposal and bid on the horizon in 2025. I think it's only great for the game that we're seeing, sides outside that M62 corridor doing well.
Would you echo that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the only way you can look at it. We can look at it in a negative way, but my view is that we have got the best sport in the world. When it's played well, and we should be very proud of that, and we shouldn't be so keen to look at the negative side of it. That's my honest view. And
do you think we look too negatively at times?
Yeah, absolutely. I do honestly. We go out of our way, and I understand Rugby League very tribal. I totally get that, Mark, but we're too keen to jump on errors and mistakes and look at the negative side. We have got the best sport in the world, and I'm including, and I mean in the world. You look at some Wigan and Saints game, Warrington Saints games, ball in play 63 minutes, they're going 29 minutes, no errors, no penalties. There's not a sport, and I mean NFL, there's not a sport in the world can do that where the players are ripping into each other with no errors, no penalties. Yet we still look at jumping on things like negative and wrong. And we just need to be more positive about our great game.
Well, something that was definitely positive this weekend was that wheelchair grand final. Congratulations to Leeds doing the treble. Live on Sky as well. And I tell you what, it's entertaining and it's brutal at times as well, isn't it?
It is. And I've watched a few games. I watched that game, and it's Endo's just saying about the list of injuries, what the players have had, and it is brutal. They really have a dig at each other.
And congratulations to Saints women.
Yep. Another successful year for them, isn't it? They obviously did the Challenge Cup earlier in the year, league leaders. So, it's been a great season so far for them. And obviously, credit to the St Helens Club too. They're obviously doing a lot of good things there and a lot of good things right off the field to promote the women's game.
And the two women's semi-finals are going to be live on Sky on Sunday as well. It's Saints versus Castleford, and then the Leeds Rhinos versus the York City Knights. All live on Sky, and the Championship playoffs are live on Sky. The League One matches are live on the Our League app. Right, we mentioned it at the very beginning of the show. It was Castleford versus Warrington. Let's look back at the round 24 match.
Into the middle of the field to Curry, and Curry, long stride. Here is Mamo now. Mamo, the ball onwards, a lovely ball, and it's Ashton in under the posts, and Matty Ashton strikes. Cooper now, Cooper, and here is Hill. Rampaging run. He's got support from Mamo, and Jake Mamo will go in. Almost an identikit try. 40. Widdop puts a kick in from just inside his 40. It bounces back. It bounces into the hands of Ashton, and Ashton will get his second of the night. Up into the night sky above the Menderhose jungle. It bounces backwards. Richardson will try and pick it up. He won't. Jake Mamo will. Jake Mamo will go the distance surely now. Evans is trying to catch him. Jake Mamo will get his second try of the night. Oh, there's McShane with a little break, and the ball is picked up by Mulhern, and Mulhern steaming through the middle. Rob Mulhern gets the pass away. Ashton will get his hat-trick under the posts. Matty Ashton gets the hat-trick. Watts plays the ball. There is Daniel Smith. O'Brien, it's batted on, and this time it's Peter Metalchi who cuts in field. And the biggest cheer of the night so far.
Be interesting if they scored in this set of 6.
Here is Milner, O'Brien. The ball reaches Metalchi again, and Metalchi will get a second. Metalchi will get a second. Again, the ball reaches Turner, and Turner will go in for another Castleford Tigers try in the corner. On the last, O'Brien crossfield kick. They will challenge for this. They will challenge for it. Millington will come up with another Castleford Tigers try. And they haven't finished here yet. And Wrench goes in for the final try of the night.
What a game that was. Superb. We're talking about selling the game. Sure, that second half.
Oh, mate, look, I'll tell you something, there was some scintillating tries in there, wasn't there? You know, some good long-range efforts and some good pace and skill on show from both sides. You know, so again, it was obviously not going to be the fairy tale finish here for Darryl Powell and the Castleford Tigers, who, you know, I must say Darryl's done an incredible job with that club over the past 8 seasons and achieved a lot there. You know, and obviously now comes to pastures new next year, but obviously it wasn't the fairy tale finish there for them. Michael Shenton, a good friend of mine, who's an ultimate pro. He's been a good servant to the game.
I was gutted for him.
Yeah. And I was gutted the way it was such an innocuous tackle that he dislocated his shoulder. It was just sad for him to finish the game in that way. I would love to have seen him play that out. But he's been a great servant to the game, had a tremendous career, represented his country as well in the past. So, but for us, it was just about getting a performance, priming for the playoffs, as we're going to look at ahead shortly in the show. But like I said, we got the job done.
We could talk about the championship later on. You got a great player from the championship in Matty Ashton, didn't you?
Yeah. No, look, again, he was a raw talent when he first come to us. He's still developing as a player, but he has got what a lot of people haven't got: pace, speed. You can't substitute speed, you know. And what I like about him too is his awareness. He's a natural rugby league player. He has that awareness of knowing where the ball's going to be. He turns up at the right spots. He's just got that natural awareness and ability. He's an exciting talent. And I've just loved the way I've seen the progression in him over the time he's had at Warrington since coming from Swinton. But you know, he's definitely an exceptional talent. It's got a bright future.
Unfortunate for Cass in the end, but Warrington of late have certainly been consistent, haven't they?
Yeah, I've been there with my ex-club team, with Wigan, and I know how hard it is to go there, and I've not won many times, and I've definitely not put 30 points on Cass. So the way Warrington played, I thought they were outstanding. And I imagine that Pricey and Endo would have spoke about taking the emotion of the game of, you know, being Dow's last game and a few players leaving, and that would have been tough. So you can't underestimate. That was just one of them games what Warrington had to win, and they got the job done.
Let's just talk about the other games from last week before we talk about the 2 playoffs. Leeds needed that, Hendo, didn't they? For a bit of confidence. All right, they knew they were in the playoffs going into that. They were playing for 5th or 6th. But after that performance against St Helens a week before, they needed to put up a show, and they did against Hull KR.
I agree. You know, to be honest, I'm sure Tony Smith will be disappointed that his side didn't probably perform. I think he even commented after the game he didn't feel they lacked a bit of energy and enthusiasm, which I think disappointed him. The fact that even though they knew they were in the playoffs, I think he wanted to see a little bit more fight from his team. So I'm expecting a response this week from them for sure. But yeah, Leeds were very good. I thought they had an intensity about them,
energy
about them, and that's something I think the Rhinos have displayed a lot of this year. And Shaun may agree with that. They have shown that tenacity about them. They've got good scramble. They're a never say die attitude about them this year, and they've faced some adversity as a group. They've had to play a lot of games in quick succession. They've had injuries to deal with, which a lot of other teams have. But they, time and time again, have proved to be, you know, a very good side this year. And I think, you know, that's credit to Richard Agar and the coaching team there and the playing group there, because I think they've had a decent season. They deserve to be where they are, and like you said, it was a good performance and result for them going into the playoffs as they face Wigan.
And your old club, good win against Catalan 12-8. The week before, good win against Hull. So, you know, the days are getting shorter. Wigan start playing.
Yeah, true. I don't think they're great performances. I think they can play a lot better. You know, but they were under the pump. You know, they're on a poor run and they're just grinding games out at the minute. But I think they can play a lot better. But I think they'll need to. Thursday play Leeds, and in my job, I'm lucky enough to go and spend some time at these clubs and sit with the coaching staff and watch them train. And Leeds, Rich has done a great job there. He's got, you know, some really good staff, good players, and the players are upbeat, loads of energy the way they train, and I can understand why they are where they are at the minute. They're going to be tough to beat on Thursday.
Yeah, so Thursday night we kick off with the Wigan Warriors versus the Leeds Rhinos in the first playoff. And then on Friday, it's Warrington versus Hull KR. So let's concentrate on the first playoff, Wigan versus Leeds. And we spoke to Eddie from the Lot 17A Leeds Rhinos podcast.
With us going there a couple of weeks back and beating them comfortably, really comfortably. And our past history in the playoffs. I mean, Leeds are a different animal when it comes to playoff football. That is just a fact. So I know the league game is totally different to the playoffs because the playoffs bring a different intensity and mentality. But on our recent form, I'm looking forward to it, and I do think that I expect us to win, to be honest. I think certainly Wigan's forward pack is, I mean, I'm 34 and I look older, but I think it's the worst forward pack I've seen at Wigan. And I think with Leeds getting back Tetavano, Oledzki and Mellor, or there's rumours that all three of them are going to be back and playing on Thursday at Wigan, I'm expecting our forward pack to just go there and really set the platform for us, and hopefully the backs can get us over the line and see us into the next round. I'm always confident when it comes to us anyway, because I've seen us win it too many times, especially from fifth. Stranger things have happened than Leeds winning the playoffs from fifth. So I do think that being away from Headingley, we've seen it in the past. With Leeds have done it in the past, done it at Warrington before, when the pressure's been on. But in away games, I think you don't have that expectation of Headingley on top of them. Let the shackles off, and I think we'll be all right. Yeah.
Thanks to Eddie from the Lot 17A podcast. Well, he's confident, and all three of those players are back in the squad as well. So Leeds are boosted. He talked about the playoffs. I don't want to remind you, but 2012, Leeds were fifth, weren't they? And you lost them in a playoff 13-12.
Yeah, a tough one, no doubt about that. And I had a young fullback playing that day, and he had a couple of errors, played well in the game, but a couple of errors. But it's just one of them games where we're just talking about Leeds and they never go away, and they have been like that for many, many years. And I can see it being that way this Thursday. We're going to have to turn up, they're going to have to complete, they're going to have to show a lot of efforts. And if they do that, then they've got a chance of winning the game. But we're going to have to be good to win that game.
And in 2013, you then beat Leeds in the playoff.
Yeah, and we went to a grand final as well, and we lost that. So, yeah, we've had some good wins over the years. We beat them at Wembley 2010. But they've always had that same tenacity, the way they approach games, very skillful players. But they've got areas where they can be beaten, which we've exposed in the past. And I'm sure they'll be doing the work, the coaching staff will be doing the work at Wigan and making sure they can work the downfall. Leeds
won 14-0 at the DW back in August, but that's irrelevant now, isn't it? Now we've got to a playoff.
It is. But I'm sure if I know Richard the way I know him, he'll be showing clips from that. There's the deficiencies in the Wigan team, and they'll be trying to show them and give their players confidence. They've got some great players coming back in the squad, and what you name will make a difference, no question about that. So I think it's going to be full on Thursday, no question.
You can relax and watch Thursday night before playing on Friday.
No, absolutely. But like I said, looking forward to it. Obviously, Hull Kingston Rovers, as a team, I think have progressed really, really well. Tony Smith, have got to credit what he's done in terms of his recruitment, the way he's built his team, the improvements that they've made as a squad. I think there's some of their bigger name players have really stepped up. Sean Kenny Dow, Kane Lynette have really come to the fore. Takarangi's done a great job too on that right edge. So they've got some strike there. We know that they like to play rugby and they will challenge you and ask a lot of questions with the ball. So you've got to be on your mettle defensively, and you've got to, as you say, keep working and be strong in the effort areas. But again, like you said, it's an unknown territory for Hull KR for a number of years. It's been a while since they've probably been in this sort of arena, but they have nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous animal to face. So we know we've prepared well so far this week. We know what's coming at us, and I'm hopeful at home and the sort of mood that we're in at the moment, we'll get the job done. But I tell you, Hull Kingston Rovers are a good side, and if you allow them to and give them time and space and opportunity, they will hurt you because they will throw the ball around, they will ask questions. And, I said they're a very good attacking side.
Well, you're clearly focused because I was trying to get you to talk about Wigan versus Leeds.
Oh, sorry, Mark. I thought that was you lead into the whole cup.
How do you think the Thursday night game will go?
Sorry, mate. One of your best there. I think
it was a rubbish question. It's my fault.
Thursday night. Look, I'm really excited about Thursday night. I was just chatting to Shaun about it before. I think it's a great game because you've got a Wigan side there that albeit they're missing people like Shaun O'Loughlin from the past that have been pivotal to their team, they still have a number of players in there that have got that big game experience. You know, they've been on the big stage, and that counts for a lot in these big games. When you've been there, done it, you know the process that you need to go through to get the job done. Leeds on the other side, they haven't got as many of those players in that side that have experienced that arena before. What they do have is energy and enthusiasm and a bit of, as Shaun alluded to, a tenacity and a never say die attitude. So it's going to be for an interesting contrast, the energy, the enthusiasm up against the heads that have got the calmness and know the process, and that. Be interesting to which one comes out on top. You know, it's going to make for a great game.
So, one word, who wins?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot there. I think Wigan win.
That's him.
Pointless question.
I think they know what needs to be done to get the job done. And I've seen enough in recent weeks where they're not playing, like you wouldn't say they're playing pretty, but they're going through their process and they're getting the job done, and they've been priming themselves for this playoff run.
Right, now we can talk Warrington versus Hull KR. And let's get some more fan build-up first of all. We spoke to Chris from the Red Robin Hull KR podcast.
And a tremendous season, really, when you consider where we've come from in terms of our position last season. And I think a huge amount of credit goes to Tony Smith for being able to mould a side into playoff contenders in such a short space of time. And you're right, it's really such a shame that we've got injuries at the back end of the season, because I think with a fully fit squad would give anyone a good run for the money. And, we're not down and out. There's still a bit of hope. Anything can happen on the night, but it's a tremendous achievement to get where we are. And, we're looking forward to the playoffs. And I think maybe Friday is a bit of a free hit for us, because not many of us had predicted to be in the playoffs at the start of the season. So to be there is fantastic. I think the last two seasons they've lost home eliminators as well. So, it gives us a bit of hope, but there's no doubt that Warrington are a formidable outfit. And you look at the attacking options they've got across the team, and we've seen that they can give anyone a good game, and they expect to be semi-finals and grand final contenders. So it's a tough ask to go over to Wire on a Friday night with a patched up squad, but there's hope, because the pressure's all on Warrington in a way that their fans expect them to be batting Rovers aside. So, maybe Rovers, if we chuck the ball around it, we've got a fantastic chance to do that.
Thanks for doing that. Right then, what a job Tony Smith has done. So, basically bottom last year to now playoffs. Yeah,
outstanding job. Really good coach. Good fella. I've spent a lot of time with him, had a lot of chats, and he's got Hull KR playing a bit different. They try things and expect the unexpected when you play Hull KR, and that's from Tony. So I love my chats with him. Very knowledgeable. He's coached our country. So when I got the job, he was the first person I touched base with, and he gave me some really good advice. So I admire what he's done there. He's done a great job for Hull KR.
Huge blow from no Matt Purcell, no Ryan Hall.
Yeah.
Such a shame after the season I've had.
Yeah, it is. And both them players have done a great job, no question about that. But I've seen Hull KR play this year, and they've been down in numbers, but they still turn up and they still play. They still test you. Teams need to defend against them, no question. And I think it'll be exactly the same for Warrington. I think Warrington will have too much for them on Friday.
In a couple of recent games, Mikey Lewis, who was on loan at Yorks, has stood out for Hull KR.
Good player, really good player. Plays straight, has a good deception. I like him. He's brave, tough. He's going to do something.
Right, the Warrington camp. There's no Mike Cooper. How are you looking ahead of this playoff?
Yeah, look, we're quietly going about our business. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We've just focused on tasks this week, and like I said, we've used the last few games leading into the playoffs to try and tweak a few things and get things right in terms of our process and what we're trying to do, and hopefully we can execute that on Friday night and overcome a very good Hull Kingston Rovers side. And is there any talk? Because obviously there's going to be some changes. Steve Price is leaving. Has he mentioned that at all? We've not mentioned.
You're leaving.
We haven't. No, we've not spoke about that. At the end of the day,
it's just focus on.
We're in the playoffs now. We've got a job to do on Friday night, and then we can worry about what's coming next if and when we get the job done.
And then obviously next week, Saints and the Catalan Dragons get involved. So what will Steve McNamara and the Saints boss be thinking this week? Is it tough when you got the week off?
Yeah, it's backfired on me a few times, Mark, if I'm honest. I like to keep playing, keep working, and everything stays the same. When you have that week off, it just sends things out a bit. So Steve's got a big job, to make sure his players are focused, and they've got a few knocks in the team. But the form they've showed this year has been outstanding. They've got some great players playing really, really well, and they'll challenge St Helens. But the biggest problem he's got is just making sure, having the care they're doing training and making sure that they peak at the right time for the game.
Because everyone at the moment is thinking we're going to have Catalans versus Wigan next Thursday, and then Warrington versus Saints on the following Friday. Sport doesn't necessarily work out like that, does it?
No, absolutely not. We've had some, turn-ups in the past, and things have worked for us and worked against us. So any team can turn up, and that's been the beauty of our Super League. What we've done this year, any team can turn up at any given time. If you've got a team what makes efforts and it makes sure they can build pressure, then anybody can beat anybody. Right,
the Championship playoffs are also live on Sky as well. Featherstone and Toulouse have got a week off. It's the Batley Bulldogs versus Bradford Bulls on Saturday, and Halifax versus Whitehaven. So that's all live on Sky. And then the League One playoffs are there live on the Our League app. Well done to Barrow Raiders, who've won League One. It's the North Wales Crusaders versus Doncaster and Workington Town versus Keighley. And Hendo, I just think it is brilliant that these Championship games are also live on Sky. The women's games are live on Sky, and the League One games are on the Our League app, which I know you do quite a lot of work for.
Absolutely. Again, it's all about exposure, isn't it? We want. Shaun's touched on it earlier in the show about how great our sport is. It's the best sport in the world. So as much exposure as we can get out there in the media platform to make people aware and see our great sport, the better. So the fact that it's getting shown at all levels of the game is great. So I can't complain, really.
The Betfred Super League Dream Team will be announced on Sunday, and the Betfred Super League are encouraging you to make your Dream Team selections as well. We've got some here. Tryline UK. Let's have a look at this one. No Warrington players, so you might want to have a pop at Tryline UK, Hendo. So no Warrington players. Let's have a look at Tommy Pearce. He sent his team in. By the way, you mentioned him early on. Every team I've seen so far, Shaun, has got Sam Tompkins in, and the other ever-present is Alex Walmsley. And I don't think there's any surprise at them two, is there?
No. Two fantastic players, great competitors. Want to win, want to improve. I've coached them both, and very, very enjoyable players to coach. They have that competitive spirit, but the main thing, they have the good blokes, good people, and the sort of people you want to have in the international team.
And that's what you look for as well, not just skill. Do you look at people's character when you're thinking about making them an England international?
Absolutely. It's a bit more important to a club, but it's the same for international. I want them to be proud to be English, to represent a country, but I need to know that they can behave. I need to know that I'm going to get good stuff in training, good stuff in games, but they can behave off the field. And them two players are a great example to any young players coming through. They're very, very humble, really good people to get on with.
So Dream Team is announced on Sunday, but get on the website and make your own predictions. Right, we're running out of time. It's time for Try of the Week.
Hello and welcome to the Our League Try of the Week. I'm Dave Woods. Let's have a look at this week's contenders. So try one this week comes from Wakefield against Hull FC and Ryan Hampshire, the eventual scorer of this wonderful handling move by Trinity. Innes Senior with a strong, powerful break down this left-hand side. It's kept alive, and this is Hampshire with the chip and the chase to finish off a cracker of a touchdown. Try two, and a young man with a big moment. James McDonnell looks absolutely unstoppable, picks the right path, and even when Matt Whitley's shoulder gets in the way, he just bounces off to score. Fantastic stuff from the youngster. Try three, Toulouse at Newcastle, the old dummy half dummy, picked up by Junior Varvai with a step and a skip, and there's Marc Corella to finish things off with a nice flourish for the French side. Try 4 is a bit of what happens next. Medway Dragons against the Brixton Bulls. Bulls in possession and attacking, so are they going to score? Well, no, they're not, because the interception from Pete Cole of the Medway Dragons, who still has to win a hot foot race to make sure he gets there. But this is terrific. Well done. Try 5, Whitehaven at Bradford. Louis Jouffret with a chip and making things happen, and in support as well. Watch the dummy. There he goes, gliding in. Spectacular. And finally, from the wheelchair grand final, Leeds against Leyland. Nathan Collins with a wonderful break here, looking for all the world a scorer until a brilliant cover tackle from Adam Rigby, literally stopping him. A wheel turn away from the line, but it isn't over yet. Quick play the ball, and Ewan Clemens is over to score. Get voting for your favourite this week. This might be one of them.
It's certainly mine. It was a brilliant final. Right, I've really enjoyed the show this week. So we've got the playoffs in the Betfred Super League, the Championship League One, and the women's game as well for the Warrington fans watching. Are you ready? But more importantly, are the players ready?
Look, I think everybody involved in the playoffs is ready. I think everybody's excited about the playoffs. It's a new competition. You know, we've had a fantastic regular season, which, yeah, it's had its disruptions, you know, through COVID, etc. But as Shaun mentioned at the start of the show, we've done a great job as a sport and as a game to get them on and get the games on, and the coverage that we've still had to support that as well has been fantastic from the media. And now we come into the playoffs. We're coming into the business end, the exciting time. The fans get excited, and we're looking for the big, you know, everyone's looking forward to the big showdown at the back end at Old Trafford. But like I said, which two teams will get there, who knows? But it's exciting to find out.
Shaun, someone who's won grand finals, what advice would you give to the players involved in these playoffs?
To be honest, I always said the same thing to my team, and will be trust the process. This weekend, and it's the same with the grand final, the same with the national games. It's a game of rugby. It's only important at the end. It's about sticking to your process, your game plan. So Endo and Lee Braves would have worked and come up with a plan to beat OKR, and if they keep on progressing, get to a grand final. It's about trusting that. Things go wrong, and it doesn't change you. You still stick to the game plan, what you've all composed together. If you do that, you've got a chance of winning.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming in, gents. Really, really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the playoffs to start as well. So Thursday night, it's Wigan versus Leeds, and then Friday, it's Warrington versus Hull KR, and then we've got playoffs in the Championship League One and the women's game as well. Please remember, if you're going to have a bet this week on the Rugby League, please bet responsibly. Keep it fun. See you soon.